What's up, everyone? Hello, all of you hearing me, hearing this video speaking. I usually read the lesson before I get on here, and today, as I usually do so, I was like, I want to read it for myself first, and the spirit of speaking in me, inspiration said to me, hey, this stuff is meant to be shared, actually. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to read it first. And it was like, no, share it. I was like, okay. So anyway, this guy, this guy, you can see this guy in his car right above me. This isn't his car. This is his client friend's car, actually. Rides the wave of words in many ways. Just now listening to a talk from Taylor Welch, The Deep End, about the Bible and worshiping Baal and the altar of that, letting go of the altar of Baal, meaning like thinking that our prosperity comes from someplace else other than source or something like that. I'm attempting to let go of some of those ways, and I think actually in my life a few months ago there was a big cleanup of that for me and someone else, actually, who I don't know, I hope that person did well with their test, and maybe I did. Man, my life goes so many ways experimentally. I was on a call yesterday with a lady who claims that she is the incarnation of Jesus, and I got other friends who they were actually like boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're very transpersonal people, and they both at one point were like almost like fighting over who was Jesus. This is funny, you know. It's strange to me. I find it interesting. I'm super glad that I get to do things in like the world that I know I want, like this, like, hey, you know, like making very meaningful differences in people's bodies. Really, really cool things going on for me with people who had a fella not too long ago couldn't put his arms above his head for the past 7+ years, and now he can, basically from the work we've done. Another lady who I returned to, she told me, yeah, we did 2 sessions. The work you did had me, speaking for herself, the work that we did had her be able to walk, actually, like in a way that wasn't painful. So she lost lots of weight. I worked on her shoulder hardcore a few days ago, and second day was quite sore, but today she's like, man, it's moving way better than it was. So this is real great, real cool. I was thinking actually like about the innocence of a little kid, like when, like I was, like I said, I was listening to the podcast called The Deep End with Taylor Welch, which is a cool podcast, really, really cool podcast. And he's like, if you don't believe what the Bible says about you, then that doubt will cost you, or something like that. And you know, I don't know, I just kind of can entertain these things and can listen to them. Like my friend who says that she's Jesus, I'm like, yeah, interesting. How are you so confident, everybody? How are you so confident? I don't understand it. And I'm like, I don't want to put your fire out if you're confident about something, because like, what if you're right, you know? Also, sometimes I will say, hey, I think it's possible you might get egg on your face if you remain so confident in some way. And I will kind of question. So I remember regarding Jesus, actually, that you know, there was like a little kid in me when I first heard the story of him. It was like, hey, want to hear a cool story, Joey? Oh, yeah, sure. There was this guy named Jesus. He was perfect. Oh, that sounds great, yeah. And he was smart. Oh, nice. And nobody could trick him or trap him. And he was really kind and loving. And then we killed him. And we tortured him. And I'm like, oh, shoot. And they're like, yeah, because of you. And I'm like, oh, no, because of me. And there is some beautiful innocence in me that wants to say, hey, God, don't hurt Jesus because of me, please. Like, let me be like Jesus. If you gotta hurt somebody, go ahead, actually. What a beautiful, innocent kind of thing in me. And what a possible type of human manipulation, honestly, I may say too, actually. So anyways, let's entertain these words here. My thoughts do not mean anything. My thoughts do not mean anything. This is A Course in Miracles, of course. A Course in what? In miracles. And the Course in Miracles reminds us that we need not believe these things. In fact, we probably will actively, what is it called? Resist them. In fact, all this precursor that I said was some kind of active resistance in some ways, you could say. So, but it does say that they have an effect on us if we allow our minds to entertain them, to sort of unwind our mind from time. And it says our mind is everything. These are finger thoughts. For instance, this is a dude thought named Joey. This is a car thought, which he's in the thought of all the thoughts of God, actually. Oh, and the story of time is a story based on the tiny mad idea, which is something like, what if there was something other than the truth? What would it look like? It would look like war. And I could say other things, but I'm not going to right now. So my thoughts do not mean anything. This is the lesson for the day, the 10th day in our 2025 year. And the first paragraph. This idea applies to all the thoughts of which you are aware or become aware in the practice periods. The reason the idea is applicable to all of them is that they are not your real thoughts. Your real thoughts are the thoughts you think with God, according to the Course. Creatively, I create my thoughts in creation, with creation, together, gathering in the happy dream to return to wholeness and unity. Paragraph number 1, sentence 3, we have made the distinction before and will do so again. You have no basis for comparison as yet. When you do, you will have no doubt that what you once believed were your thoughts did not mean anything. They were meaningless meaning, the meaning of meaningless meaning. Okay, paragraph number 2. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts. This is the second time we have used this kind of idea. The form is only slightly different. This time the idea is introduced with my thoughts instead of these thoughts. Yeah, these thoughts don't mean anything. That was previous. And no link is made overtly with the things around you. The emphasis is now on the lack of reality of which you think you think. Paragraph 3. The aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. I'm going to read that again. The aspect of the correction process began with the idea that the thoughts of which you are aware are meaningless, outside rather than within, and then stressed their past rather than their present status. Now we are emphasizing that the presence of these, quote, thoughts mean that you are not thinking. You're not the king of your thinking. You've dethroned yourself from being with your Creator. This is merely another way of repeating our early statement that your mind is really blank. I would say also really full of meaningless meaning, or chaos, actually. To recognize this is to recognize nothingness when you think you see it. Nothingness is chaos in some way. This is what it is saying. Clear clarity, you could call it nothingness, but it is wholeness, or it is everythingness. It is unstoppable light. As such, it is the prerequisite for vision. What is the prerequisite for vision? Recognizing nothingness when you think you see it. Paragraph number 4. Close your eyes for these exercises and introduce them by repeating the idea for today quite slowly to yourself. Then add, this idea will help to release me from all that I know all that I now believe. The prerequisite for vision is to recognize nothingness when we think we see it. To recognize, oh, this is a symbol of something that's opposite of how things are actually. In reality, I am love, I am peace, in actuality, in eternity, forever, actually. Actually is an interesting word in English, though, because it has to do with act, actually. And that is a part of the happy dream, the seemingly scenes that lead to eternity, where the the film of the story seems to get burnt up by being full of uncompromising purpose for a purpose of giveness. Of giving what? Clear clarity. To what? To everything, uncompromisingly. What is this for? What is this for? What is this for? It's for me to see beyond it clearly, no matter what it is sensationally, or in the story seemingly kicking and stomping its feet, gnashing and clawing its teeth, something like this. Oh, okay. The exercises consist, as before, in searching your mind for all the thoughts that are available to you without selection or judgment. Try to avoid classification of any kind. In fact, if you find it helpful to do so, you might imagine that you are watching an oddly assorted procession going by, which has little, if any, personal meaning to you. As each one crosses your mind, say, "My thought about blank does not mean anything." As the next one comes by, "My thought about blank does not mean anything." Paragraph number 5. Hey, viewer, hello. Okay, paragraph number 5. Today's thought can obviously serve any thought that distresses you at any time. So if you have a thought that distresses you, my thought about blank does not serve anything. Whatever. My thought about distressing thought does not mean anything. This is a way, again, to unwind your mind, to clear your heart. And in addition, 5 practice periods are recommended, each involving no more than a minute or so of mind searching. It is not recommended that this time period be extended, and it should be reduced to half a minute or less if you experience discomfort. Look how easy the course is being on us. Remember, however, to repeat the idea slowly before applying it specifically. Also to add, this idea will help to release me from all that I now believe. Okay, good practicing. Love you. Bye-bye.